Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here at Glen Eagles at the Internova Plus conference. It's the first of their luxury conferences that I've been to, and you have a cross-section of travel advisors from across the Internova network, advisors from Travel Leaders Network, advisors from Global Travel Collection, advisors from NextGen, all over, and they're all here. The best of the best is here to talk about luxury travel and also interact with different suppliers. And I'm here with Hazley Smith, Senior Vice President, Partner Relations for Internova, who I've known for a long time, but not always with that title. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about the different partners that Internova has and what she oversees. And you're going to find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Hazley, first of all, great to see you. How long have you been at Internova now? I've lost track.
It is always good to see you. It's been 4 years now.
All right. Yeah. And why did you decide to join?
If I'm being honest, I saw maybe a blank slate with a big budget.
Aha, there you go. You can create with more money, right?
Yeah. Internova is a enormous enterprise, but with the heart of a small company and the moxie of a startup. And Albert Herrera recruited me, and when Albert calls, you come running. And so I say I came for Albert Herrera, but I'll stay for our CEO, J.D. O'Hara, who's just a remarkable and inspiring leader.
J.D. is a great guy, and Albert I've known for a long time. And yeah, Albert's the reason I'm here. A year ago, he said, I'm inviting you to Glen Eagles. And that it has happened. So here I am just a year later, and he said, I wanted to invite you here. So I'm very happy to be here, even though it's a rather dark day in Scotland here, a little rainy, but that just adds to the color and makes the fire feel better. So
yeah, well, we're glad you're here. Albert knows all the best people.
Albert is again, a great guy. Now, what is your chief function in Internova now today?
Some might say it's to be creatively contrarian. It is to challenge the status quo and think really differently about how advisors and partners engage with each other, what the future of these relationships look like, and to carve out the programs and the paths to get us to the future in a more equitable place.
You're overseeing different supplier programs. One of them is the in-country partner, which is I call it the DMC partners. How many DMC in-country partners do you have now in the program?
So we have 200 now, and that is not different from when I took over the program. There were 200 in 2022, but we cut it back to under 100, so we could more methodically and carefully grow the program into what it needed to be, which was the best-in-class vetting, most intense vetting process, and the highest standards to entry, but to also give the advisors choice. So something that I think is really special and different about our DMC program is that it spans 4-star, 3.5-star sometimes in some destinations, up to personal and private with the utmost security and helicopter transfers and all the behind the scenes bells and whistles. So we have a lot of choice, which I think is something that's not been out there widespread.
No, and you also have, obviously you want to look at the destination mix you have, and do you try to have an in-country partner in all of your major destinations? Or maybe several, I don't know.
We have several partners in every major destination. We are covering now about 185 different destinations, which is broad, but we sit on a mountain of data, and we can use that to see exactly how much production we have going into each region to anticipate the trends. So then we know it's time to look for a partner in this particular region of this, particular country or an emerging destination. But sitting on that data is really helpful because we can get ahead of the game. So, we don't have to go out and search for a partner when a destination becomes hot. We've already got them.
So in addition to the in-country partners that you work with, that program, you also kind of oversee Internova's cruise, tour, villa, and specialty and emerging partners programs. What do you do on each of these categories?
That's right. That's a lot of programs.
That is a lot of programs. I was like, boy, what else don't you do? I know you don't do hotels because we've just interviewed Dennis about hotels. But
well, there is a machine behind each of these programs. So my role, again, is to look at what's ahead. In cruise especially, there has been a sea change, pun intended, in what's available. So we cannot sell, segment, market what's on the water the same way we did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So rethinking our distinctive voyages programs and how to better meet the needs of new cruisers is really important. And in terms of the other programs, Villa and Yacht, again, it's a change in the way that people want to experience the world. And so we have to think about how we make sure, again, for our advisors, that they have choice and understanding of what's available to help choose the right product for their clients. Again, that goes to vetting and a lot of segmenting, a lot of deep targeting and segmenting, because we have 100,000 travel advisors, and we want to make sure that we're connecting the partners that offer these experiences to the right advisors, because 100,000 is a deep sea to swim in.
And they have a lot of different tastes and a lot clients with a lot of different markets that they have to serve. Roughly how many cruise, and I'll include river suppliers, do you have in the cruise program?
I would say roughly 30, but again, they are not all put together in one program. Again, it goes to segmentation, because a river experience is very different from an ocean-going experience, is different from a yacht. So instead of trying to make everybody fit into the mold of a single cruise program, we've segmented, much like we have with the hotel program. So again, it just makes it easier for the advisors and the clients to understand what they're buying.
And of course, you have ocean cruise, you have, we said river cruise, you have small ship, expedition. I keep asking, people come to me and they say, oh, I took a cruise once and I didn't like it. And I said, well, have you tried these other things? Because they're not the same products, right?
It's like saying, can you recommend a shirt to me? There's a lot of choice out there. So making sure that our advisors have the tools to understand each of these programs, each of these cruise lines and yacht offerings is really important, because it's not as easy as one might think when there is a range even within the same categories.
And the same goes for tours, because there's so many different tour operators, and we're not even talking, you have a whole program for in-country, but now you also have a program for tour operators, right?
Right. So, and specifically, I look after the luxury end of the market, and touring is evolving. And so, with a lot of our new to industry advisors, they hear the word tour and they shiver. They have in their mind what that means, and that means, a horde of people with a flag and a tour director and a bus. So it's our job to find the tour operators that are doing things differently, meeting the needs of modern travelers. Talc is a great example with their new product that is targeted towards kind of the 40 to 50-year-old sector, and making sure that our advisors get it.
Yeah, and I was there when they launched that, and it really is it for them, it's a big leap, because they did cater to a somewhat older client base, and now they're trying to get back to the 40s and 50s. Right. But then you have other operators that are also in that luxury sphere. I know Abercrombie and Kent is here. They do a lot. There are actually not that many great luxury tour operators in the market when you look at them. There are different things that have different segments, but you can't have roughly how many tour operators do you have now?
Tour operators, and again, we have to provide choice. Not everyone is an A&K client, not everyone is a Talc client. So we have to provide choice. So I would say approximately 25. Yeah. And again, we break it down into bite-sized pieces and segment down exactly so the advisors know who they're working with and what the experience could be. And it's also been interesting, as you've seen over the last years, the line between DMC and tour has become increasingly blurry.
Well, it is tough sometimes to say, why is a DMC? A DMC generally I think of as a country specialist, and and whereas most of these tour operators that we're talking about in the tour category, Tauk and A&K and things like that, sell around the world. So that's one difference. But that you're right. There is the distinction between them is sometimes very slim in terms of what they're doing. And then of course villas, as you're also overseeing, the villa products have been exploding in recent years.
And a villa booking can be very tricky for an advisor. If it is a standalone villa, you're working through a broker, that villa could be part of a broker program with 30 other operators. The contracts typically have not been friendly to the end client or the advisor. So again, we want to vet our villa partners so the clients and the advisors are very well looked after. Not just during their stay. Of course, we look for beautiful villas and exceptional amenities, but to make sure they're looked after legally and fiscally. Should something go bump in the night, should the owner decide, they want to go to the villa for the week, the client has it booked. So it's not always sexy, but getting into those very minute contractual details to make sure everyone is safe and comfortable in making these bookings is critically important.
Well, if you see a beautiful villa and you book it and then you can't get in for some reason, no one wants that, right?
No, or if the photos of the villa were taken 35 years ago and the upholstery's not been changed since then. Yeah.
That can be a problem. Now, I also understand you're sort of taking the lead in helping Internova develop a technology platform of directory of all these different suppliers. That's a massive task, isn't it?
It is, and thank goodness that I have an incredible partner in this from the technology side within Internova, Jeremy Van Kuyk. So we've been working hand in hand to marry tech and business. So I put on my advisor hat, and I think every day as we're working on this project together with teams of engineers and support staff, what would an advisor do? If I am an advisor and I'm planning this trip, what do I need at my fingertips? Where do I point on the screen to make it a little bit easier? If you visit any advisor's desk, they're typically going to have 30 tabs open. Mm-hmm. They're going to be operating in 5 to 6 different programs and platforms, some native, some non, and it is truly a pain. Yeah, it's too much. Right. So wouldn't it be great if we had a single source of truth for our advisors to have all of the resources at their fingertips, one single sign-on, one login, and everything right at their fingertips to make it easier to sell travel.
How close are we to getting that platform?
We are getting closer every day. I think, and this will be a long project because it's incredibly ambitious what we'd like to do and how far we would like to take it. Data is an important piece of it. Again, I mentioned we sit on a mountain of data, and wouldn't it be great if you were a partner and instead of searching for advisors by city or state or maybe just their specialty, you could look at real data, what they sell, which partners they sell, which hotel rooms, which hotel categories, which suite types, which stateroom categories, again, to just help make the right connections. So it's an ambitious project. We are very hopeful that we can roll out the first phase this year.
Well, and this year is we're just starting now, but so I'm sure by the end of this year you'll have something. I can't believe you wouldn't. Anything else you want to tell us about all the supplier programs you oversee and what your philosophy is in terms of trying to get the right suppliers for all these wonderful advisors that you have in the Internova network?
Yes, a place for everyone a place. Our philosophy is that any transaction or engagement between advisor, partner, client should be equitable. And using partnership truly the way the word is meant, which is we work collaboratively together. There is no hierarchy. The deepest pockets don't get the most airtime. The best product gets the best airtime.
Fantastic. Well, Hazley, great to see you here. I've known you a few years now, and this sounds like a great new post for you. And how long have you been doing it now?
4 years.
4 years. You told me 4 years. Wow.
It's every day is a beautiful day at Internova because there's so much blue sky ahead, and Internova has the vision and the innovation to carve this space out.
So you heard it here. Well, that's what Internova is offering on the supplier and partner stage, and from Hazley. And here we are at Glen Eagles. Still raining, but hopefully will clear up in a little while, and we'll get outside. But meanwhile, I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.